You're in the middle of a meeting, a long car ride, or a really good movie and nature calls, so you do what most of us do. You ignore it.
You squeeze, you shift, you tell yourself just a little longer. But what is actually happening inside your body when you do that? And how long is too long before it becomes dangerous?
Stay with me, because the answer might surprise you. Before we talk about what happens when you hold it in, you need to understand how your bladder works in the first place. Your bladder is essentially a hollow muscular bag. It sits in your lower abdomen, and its entire job is to collect and store urine that comes down from your kidneys. As urine fills your bladder, the walls stretch. The bladder is incredibly elastic. It can hold anywhere from 400 to 600 milliliters of urine when full. That is roughly the same as 2.5 cups of water. Now embedded in the walls of your bladder are stretch receptors, tiny sensors that monitor how full your bladder is getting. When your bladder reaches about half full, those receptors send a signal up through your spinal cord to your brain. That signal is what you feel as the urge to urinate. At this point, your brain has two options. It can give your bladder permission to release, or it can tell the muscles to hold on. When you decide to hold it in, your brain is essentially overriding that signal and telling your body to keep waiting. In the first few minutes of holding it in, your body kicks into a controlled holding pattern. Two sets of muscles become your best friends, the internal urethral sphincter, which works automatically without you thinking about it, and the external urethral sphincter, which you consciously control when you squeeze and hold. Your pelvic floor muscles also tighten to support the effort. You might notice your legs cross instinctively or your body shifts. This is not just a habit, it is actually a physical response that adds external pressure to help keep everything closed. At this stage, everything is completely fine. Your body is designed to hold urine for several hours without any real harm. The average healthy person can comfortably hold their bladder for 3 to 5 hours after the first urge hits. Now, here is where things get more serious. When you push past your body's comfortable limit, the signals get louder and more urgent. Your bladder walls are stretching beyond their comfortable range, and those stretch receptors are firing constantly, trying to get your attention. The muscles in your bladder, called the detrusor muscles, begin contracting involuntarily. This is your bladder literally trying to push urine out on its own. This is what causes that intense wave of urgency, where you feel like you absolutely cannot wait another second. If you continue to ignore it, the pressure inside your bladder builds significantly. This pressure does not just stay in your bladder, it begins to push back up toward your ureters, the tubes connecting your bladder to your kidneys. When pressure travels back up toward the kidneys, it is called vesicoureteral reflux, and it can carry bacteria with it. This is how holding your urine for too long can lead directly to a urinary tract infection, or in more serious cases, a kidney infection. Your body also begins to experience real physical discomfort, cramping in the lower abdomen, a dull ache in the pelvic region, and in some cases, a sharp pain radiating into the lower back as your kidneys become involved. This is the question everyone wants to know. Can your bladder actually burst from holding it too long? The answer is technically yes, but it is extremely rare in healthy people. A healthy bladder has enough elasticity and muscle control that it will almost always find a way to release before reaching a true rupture point. In most cases, if you hold it long enough, your external sphincter muscles will simply give out, and your body will release urine involuntarily before your bladder ever reaches a dangerous pressure level. However, bladder rupture is a real medical emergency that does occur in cases of trauma, certain medical conditions, or in people who have chronically overstretched their bladder over many years. So while you are unlikely to burst your bladder from one long car ride, it is not something to make a habit of. If holding your pee becomes a regular habit over months and years, the effects on your bladder are real. The detrusor muscles that control your bladder can become weakened and overstretched over time, leading to a condition called an underactive bladder. This means your bladder loses its ability to contract properly and empty fully, which can lead to chronic urine retention and recurring infections. On the opposite end, constantly ignoring your body's signals can actually rewire how your nervous system communicates with your bladder, leading to an overactive bladder, where you feel constant urgency, even when your bladder is barely full.
So the bottom line is this: holding your pee occasionally is completely normal and your body handles it just fine.
But making it a daily habit, especially pushing past the point of serious discomfort, is something your bladder, your kidneys, and your nervous system will eventually make you pay for. Listen to your body. It knows what it is doing. If you found this video useful, make sure you like and subscribe. We break down the science of your body every single week. And comment below, how long is the longest you have ever held it? Let's find out.